What up, punks? I know that CyberPunk 2077 has not been what we expected, but are you aware that there are other Cyberpunk games that may kind of fill in the time for you, depending on your play tastes? I know that these games are not Cyberpunk 2077, but they may just give you a little insight to that world. I'm Darkstrider, the YouTube Assassin. Let's get into this. So again, I know Cyberpunk 2077, so many people wanted this to be great. I know it's pretty glitched out. There are a lot of things that people are having problems with. It seems mostly optimized for the Xbox Series S and X or the PlayStation 5. Uh, Obviously PC as well. Playing on PS4 or the Xbox One seems to cause a lot of problems, and as such, PlayStation actually removed it from their store. So some people really want to wait until they get all the bugs worked out and we hear that the game is perfect and there's no way of messing up or anything like that. You could just play through once and enjoy the game. But consider that there are a couple of cheaper games that you can play that are set in the Cyberpunk universe, done by other groups. And I mean, they're pretty decent. They still give you a little insight as to what's going on in the Cyberpunk universe. And if you play those first, they may really amp you up for this one when it's fully functional. What am I talking about? Here, I'll show you. So I wanted to start off with Dex, the enhanced version. This is available on most of the systems. It's about $19.99. It's a 2D action RPG. In it, you're basically seeing the world through a lot of cutscenes. You go through certain things, kind of like Blade Runner style, and you're basically like a corpo, but you get to pick your own playstyle. You could be an assassin, hacker, diplomat, straightforward gunfighter. It's kind of wild. Now, like I said, it is a 2D platformer. You have to get used to the controls, but once you do, you got them down pat. Basically, you're able to like fight. You're just brawling at first until you're able to get weapons, and then you could actually fire off the weapons. It's a pretty decent system. Now, I know that the graphics are going to turn some people off. You know, you don't want to pay $20 for like a 2D game. It was available on the Nintendo Switch for $2. I don't know if it's still available for that amount or even less, but that's where I initially got it. Then I got it on PS4, and I believe it was $19.99. You know, maybe that's too steep for you, but, you know, it's a lot of action. It's a lot of story. So I was pretty impressed by what I saw. I thought that $2 was pretty steep or pretty low for something like this. And, you know, maybe 20 was pretty steep, but it should have been around like maybe 14, maybe even $10. But you can run around, you could go up, down, obviously platform style, jump, whatnot. It does have a bunch of like inventory and stuff like that, different things that you could add, you could sell, quest items and whatnot. You can level up like an RPG, and you can fix your stats to go along with your play style. Your objective is to escape from a corporation that's chasing you down as you play as the character Dex. Now, there is an augmented reality, an AR version or a part like this that you got to go into a computer system and basically hack it, go through it like that. So it's not just all, you know, just RPG elements where you're just running and jumping and whatnot. There are other elements to it as well. In my opinion, overall, the puzzles are decent, and there are a lot of them. The storyline is really good. And honestly, you meet some of the strangest characters that either help or hinder you along. There's plenty of dialogue to go around. There's plenty of different choices you can make. There was a choice where I had to make in this sewer where I could talk to a guy and either help him with a quest or just pick a lock. And I chose to pick the lock because I already had what I needed. So Let me know what you think, whether you got this or if you'd like to see gameplay on this. I'd be more than happy to show you guys. But I think this is decent. Maybe catch it when it's about $10 though. Next up, we have Sense, a cyberpunk ghost story. Now, this was kind of controversial because of the character. A couple of groups were upset that she was very, very top heavy. Now, you play as May, a girl who was going on a simple date and something went wrong. She helped some dude out, and all of a sudden now she's being haunted by several ghosts. It doesn't happen until a little bit later in the game, still early on. Basically, all this stuff in the cyberpunk universe is still going on. She gets to a bar, and then she has a kind of glitch with her faceplate, with her optics. So she checks them out, and then that's when everything goes wrong. Now, this game, it does tell a lot of story through these kind of cutscenes, which are absolutely phenomenal, honestly. But there is a lot of basically puzzles that go on. It's kind of a horror game. There are some jump scares. There are some things that are like really wild. Mostly, it's kind of RPG, but you're grounded on the floor. You're not really doing platforming. There is some parts where you can climb and things like that, but for the most part, you're on one level ground. It's kind of like a point and click adventure. You interact with certain things. You're trying to find certain things out, solve certain puzzles, so that way you can get through the game. Now, as you discover that these ghosts are in this kind of hotel that somehow you've been teleported to, the only way out is to kind of exorcise these ghosts. So you're going to have to figure out what caused their death, why they're upset, how to appease them, and then you're going to have to appease them. But as you can see, the puzzles are kind of weird, where you have to go inspect certain things, make sense of certain things, and then go about your business trying to collect things to kind of work together in tandem. The storyline is actually pretty decent. The puzzles are really, really good. And there is a lot of stuff going on. You may want to save often just so that you don't die. You can die in this game. There are spirits that will try to kill you, that will try to mess with you. There are obstacles that will electrocute you and whatnot. And there are traps all around the place. But the thing is, overall, it is a lot of fun. It is kind of dark. There are a lot of not just dark areas, but like dark humor, dark kind of situations and whatnot. You're going to see a lot of incredibly crazy things. Anything that you would expect from a cyberpunk slash horror kind of mashup. But so far, I haven't seen anything like an actual weapon. Later on in the game, way later on in the game, you do acquire some sort of spiritual sword in order to take these things out. But for the most part, there's a lot of puzzles, a lot of things to figure out. You're going to have to take a lot of notes. It is very involving. This isn't something that you could just pick up for, like 10 minutes, put down, and then go about your business. These puzzles are really going to haunt you. But, overall, like I said, in my opinion, it's a decent game. This one, again, $14.99 on Nintendo Switch, on PS4 and Xbox. It all depends on whether or not you want to catch this on a sale or you just want to get it now. It's definitely worth that money. Dex, again, I don't think is worth $19.99. I think $2 was way too cheap. I could see that being like a $10, $14 game just like this. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Are there any other cyberpunk games that I may have missed that are digital? Any video game? Is there any sort of media that you like? Any books, any comics, any digital comics, any kind of mini films that are out that you've been interested in, just to kind of whet your cyberpunk appetite? Let me know that in the comments below. I know that there are dirty films that they did based on cyberpunk. and that came out before Cyberpunk 2077. I don't know why. I guess it's, like a particular group that's into that thing. And if you are, I'm not judging you. You go on with your bad self. You go look that up. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe. It helps this channel out an awful lot. As always, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. Until next time, take care, be good, and I'll see you all in the next one.